Today, I'm doing something rather exciting. I'm giving a speech at a graduation for a school. Now, again, if you asked me a year ago, in a year's time, will you be going around the country giving talks to schools and graduations? Would I be doing that? I'd probably said you're a bit crazy, but it's been so cool. It's been amazing. So I'm very excited. I enjoy doing these. I often don't know what actually to expect before I get there, but luckily I'm quite chill, turn up, okay, figure out what's happening, let's do it. I'm going to be speaking about my experience, obviously gymnastics, my experience with adversity, how to face it, how to face challenge and struggle, and probably mentioning the old gladiators. So, it's wild to think that we filmed that nearly a year ago. It was nearly a year ago. So we filmed it in August, which is just absolutely crazy. And like I said, in a couple of other videos, it's been like a complete blur really, but I'm just so grateful. And I don't know what I'm going to film. I don't know what. I might not even put this on the channel. So if you're watching this, you're lucky. But hopefully I'll get a few clips, maybe meeting some people, maybe chatting to a few people, maybe me talking. We shall see. But most importantly, we will have a great time. And I definitely need to get changed out of this.
Thank you for an amazing introduction. Some of you may know a little bit about my story, which is, again, incredibly weird for me. You might know about my grandma, all of these things, but I think it's really important in life straight away to celebrate these wins, because I promise you there's going to be lots of ups, lots of downs. I'm going to start in a blazer. I can't lie, I'm incredibly hot. Yeah, I thought it's a graduation, I need to look a little bit okay. And I haven't got any socks on as well. I often get ripped for that, so I know the dads are thinking, oh well, look at him, he's not even got his socks on. Gladiators champion, Team GB gymnast, 2-time European medalist, 6-time national champion. I say that, I put it on the board, I still stand here and think, wow, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I don't even feel like I've actually done that. I started gymnastics as a means to burn energy when I was 5. So my mum was just sick to death of me, I think. I remember one story, she was telling me I jumped off the cooker and bit a hole through my tongue, and she was just, I don't know what to do with this child. I wasn't naturally talented in gymnastics. And you're going to go, oh yeah, this guy, European medalist, national champion, wasn't very talented in gymnastics. I promise you, I coach hundreds of kids now who are 10 times better than I was when I was their age. And I'm a big advocate for people doing things they enjoy, but especially when they're young, trying lots of things. The other day when I got sent the order of, I was going to say service, but it makes it sound like a funeral. When I got sent the order, there's a quote in there that you can read, and it says, enjoy your journey at the end. And I was like, yes. That's exactly why I agreed to come here today. You need to know that context about me, but you never quite know what's going to happen as a result of what you're doing right now. Lots of you may do different hobbies. I put on those achievements and then I like to rip myself down. Setbacks or setups, and this is kind of the things that I like to be quite open and honest with, that everybody won't tell you about these kind of journeys. So I enjoyed gymnastics, but like I said, I was pretty terrible. In 2016, I broke my leg. I missed the selection for the national team that year. I wasn't really good enough, but my coach was like, why not? Let's go and do it, experience. And that was like the first time your dream's been put in front of you and you just lose it straight away. And I remember sat at home watching my friends compete at the European Championships. I was just crying and I was so proud of them, so happy, but I just was so jealous. 2018, 2 years later, 4 or 5 times a week training, all the work alongside school, college, all of that stuff, just always trying to make decisions that were ultimately trying to help my goal. I'm not going to lie, I did go out with my friends on a weekend, I did go to parties or whatever, but I always had a goal in mind and I always thought, right, I need to do these set things if I've got a chance of getting there. In 2018, I got picked for the national team, goal complete, and in the European final, I went out, I fell over personally. I think we had 4 people fall over, landed on my head, and we came 4th. So that moment was like the best moment of my life. And then ultimately, I'd made a mistake. So it was 4th, the hardest position to come. For 3 years, I thought about getting a medal. And it's really dangerous to attribute all of your success or everything you want to do to one certain goal. In 2021, we got a bronze medal at the European Championships. That was like my thing, what I wanted to do. And I stood on the podium and I remember thinking, this is amazing. And as soon as I was going to step off the podium, it was done. And I have the fondest memories of that. But it goes back to that journey. You have to enjoy or try to be present in what you're doing all the time. When I was 2, I lost my mum. She passed away. I also didn't have a father present. I was brought up by this woman here, my amazing grandma, Christine. Christine literally did everything she could for me growing up. She always spoilt me, grandparents in the room. I've been lucky enough to work with Kinship Now, which is an amazing charity. And I sat in a room with 25 kinship carers who knew my story and they were explaining what they go through. And I have been the luckiest person in the world. There's people out there who, like I say, can't get into education, can't afford to do this, can't afford to go on school trips, have grandparents looking after them that have retired, then had to cash in a pension, go back to work just so they can support this child. Being different doesn't mean you're limited, doesn't mean you can't do what you want to do. Throughout my gymnastics career and growing up, there was times where some days I didn't even notice that I didn't have a real mum or a real dad. Then other days I'd be thinking, oh wow, this time when I've just got off the pitch after scoring a try would probably be where your dad would go on son, yeah, that's my boy. I feel incredibly lucky, and all of us in here in this room are incredibly lucky because there's always someone worse off. I put in an application for this show. I applied in the first series to be a gladiator, didn't get picked because I think, I don't know, probably too big and too strong. This was absolutely a dream I didn't know I even had. And I thought, right, I want to be a Team GB gymnast. I want to win a medal. And then this just got put in front of me after that. I was like, whoa, okay, this gives me a chance to go on television. I didn't care about where I came. All I cared about is leaving it thinking I tried my best there. And hopefully if one person watches it and goes, oh, I've recently lost my mum, or that I'm feeling a bit down, or I feel like I can't do this because I don't come from this amazing, I don't know, family or whatever, not to give up, it was worth doing. Because some of the gladiators are people I've looked up to since I was younger than you guys in here. I never, ever, ever expected to win gladiators. The goal was, okay, get on the show. At every single step of your life or the next thing you go into, you're going to have a set of new challenges. And I do think that is kind of the actual purpose of life, to just have your problems changed and still try to face them. Focusing on the effort, not just the outcome. On that day, when we were competing legally and within the sport of the rules of the game of gymnastics, I couldn't control how good my competitor was. I couldn't control if they landed. I couldn't control their sleep the night before unless I was trying to wake them up. All of these things I couldn't control. The only thing I could control, and the same with the show, was how fast I could get around the eliminator, how fast I ran at the gladiators, how fast I did that tumble in gymnastics. Whatever it is, you can only control your efforts. But the one thing that all elite athletes think or reframe is that every time they're nervous or every time they're anxious about something, it's an opportunity to kind of improve, do better. Essentially, you really can't lose if you don't give up. And that's ultimately what I try to tell people or tell kids. And then I got the opportunity to go on Lorraine with Kate Garraway, and I'm sat there the same thing. I'm like, this is just unbelievable. I don't even know what's happening. So I promise you, I was nervous to come here today, and I hope I continue being nervous going into all of these things, because I do think it is a good opportunity to develop, grow, improve. It sounds like I've done a lot of things, but I am like nowhere near where I would like to get. And I think that being aware of, okay, if I'm here and I want to get here, actually this is just constantly going to move. You'll all hear like people who climb a mountain or you're climbing Everest or if they don't stop to enjoy the view, essentially when they get to the top, they just think, oh, there's a bigger one over there, I'm going to do it. I need to do that one now. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. You guys are a bit older. You guys, do you know what I mean? You know, you're like, oh, essentially this guy's telling me not to give up. Yeah, well done. Yeah, I've never been told that before. Do the thing that scares you. Could be a sport, could be a hobby, could be, I don't know, going to the gym for the first time. It could be applying for a job which is just like outrageously out of your league in your head, but you've made up your mindset. I want you to try something, sport, hobby. A few weeks ago, I sent my grandma, Christine, to the gym. Now, she's 82, she can barely walk unless it's to a bakery or in the garden. She's constantly getting me in trouble with the rest of the family because she's like, oh, I'm going out with the girls, I'm going out with my friends again for the 4th time of the week, and I've got my uncle having a go at me saying, she's out again. And I'm telling him that when I'm that age, if I make it that age, I'll be playing golf and I'll be on P&O cruises, so you won't see me. But I sent her to the gym and I thought, you need to ring, because if you turn up at the gym and a PT meets you, you're gonna think, he's gonna think you're crazy, and you say you want to sign up and go and do it. And I rang her and I went, how was it? She was like, oh, it was great. Yeah, and I said, he laughed at me nearly as I was coming through, and he tried to send me to the coffee shop and there was a gym. She was like, no, I want to go to the gym. It's like, sorry, you all right? But she did that. And then she went, oh, I think I'm going to go have a coffee with these people that I met at the rugby club. I'm like, love that. You never know what's going to happen as a result of what you've done. I promise you, nobody has it figured out at all. People just almost pretend their way through what they're doing, and they start doing the thing, and then they get more confident as it goes. Pushing yourself, not giving up, even though it's the most cliche thing in the world. And remembering, like that quote says, enjoy the journey, because I promise you it's the best part. And I know I'm going to do things that I don't even know are possible yet.
Can I ask you one thing?
No.
So you're from Scout?
Yep. Woo! The oracle's in the room though. You can't be telling me. Did that remind anyone else of Benidorm? Or is that just me?
When you were 16 and it was your last day of school, is there or was there a teacher that said something to you that helped? Or is there anything else that you could say today that you think would help people today?
I feel like most of my teachers were probably glad to see the back of most people. Most teachers just really want to see you trying, and that gets you a long way. Thanks, guys.
And we are done. Something a little bit different. My first graduation, I think. I don't think I've done a graduation. Had a great talk about resilience, my story, my experience, gladiators, and just tried to provide value to every single person, everyone there, whether they were younger, older, just tried to give them something of a little bit value. Hopefully they can take away with them. And I'm very excited for a lot more of these going forwards. Awards evenings, schools, whatever. It was a well-organised event, and I spoke to a range of people from different backgrounds, and it's amazing to see kids, older adults, teenagers, all bettering themselves some way and trying to chat about what they want to do, opportunities, things they want to do. And I can't believe these people are inspired by me, but just incredible and always great to meet them. So next, we'll see what's next on the adventures of the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.